I'll just assume we're recording.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay.
Welcome to our first actual, not the pilots. Yacky Yack, don't talk back.
Great.
I'm GoodBen on my right, or sorry, my other right. That's Dallas.
Hey.
So this is
Here we are.
I want to say, I don't know, kind of a spin-off? Not really a spin-off. Whatever they call it, when you have a main show and then the other show gets its own show, or characters from from the main show get to go off and
crossover.
get their own show, crossover, something like that. Spin-off, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So this is essentially kind of the remnants of the old Ben Demon and Alien show, which that never took off as well as I hoped it would. But you know what? We're making do with this, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I guess the result of that kind of fallout. So, but yes.
Yeah.
So as far as the show is structured, we're gonna kind of make it up as we go along. Obviously, we'll have discussions offline and everything. But we do have topics. We do have enough to keep us going, and we'll keep going until the end of time, until that meteor that I keep hearing about comes down and destroys the Earth. Cross your fingers, man.
All right.
Any day now.
Yes.
Any day.
All right. So.
All right.
What we talk about?
So, let me get my list here. I think you had a list as too, right?
I didn't write anything. My first list, because I know that you like playing the drums. That was like something that was an easy topic that I felt like we could talk about. You know,
gotcha.
Like who's like personal favorite drummers, influences, different genres that you like, you know, all that sort of business.
All that jazz.
Jazz is pretty good. I haven't gotten into jazz music until more recently, actually. I think Neil Peart from Rush actually kind of opened the door for me to kind of get into that. I'm still kind of new with it. Like, if you were to talk to me about jazz artists, I could only name like a certain amount, but not even like tell you about them. It's like, oh, I've heard of Buddy Rich, or I've heard of John Coltrane. John Coltrane wasn't a drummer per se, but still a musician.
I've heard of Coltrane.
Yeah.
I've also heard of Colt Chamber.
Hey.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, so
yeah, we got. I'll just go through one of the lists here. See what we got. Just making sure my things are working. Okay, let's try this. All right, so if you had the whole world's attention, if you had the whole world's attention for, I don't know, 30 seconds, what would you say?
I don't know if I could conjure up a freaking word with all that stage fright. I mean, what exactly could you say in 30 seconds? I mean, if you think about it, because like 30 seconds to me is not long whatsoever. You know, it's like
2 minutes. How's that? 2 minutes.
I mean, all right. I guess it doesn't matter if I have 2 minutes or 30 seconds.
Unlimited time. We'll do that.
Unlimited time. But my message to the world would just be like, I don't know, like what do I want from the world? I just want peace on Earth. That's all I want. You know. So I could picture standing there being like, Hey, my name is Dallas. All I want to say is that I like for a world of your time is up. Damn it. I'd be like, what I really want in the world is peace on earth. So I think that love and peace will overcome everything. So let's make that happen. And I could picture like now if you gave me 2 minutes or 20 minutes, I could picture myself like being like this guy I saw in this Japanese show called MXC. That'd
Oh,
be
right,
yeah. So they got this guy standing. They got all the runners ready to run, and they're getting ready. They're all ready to run, and he's like, they go, and now we have a speech before this marathon begins, and they show this old guy, and he's like, I was a college professor for 25 years, and one thing that I noticed, and the guys get all night, they're like, we don't care. One thing that I realized that in my time of teaching, shut up. So I don't really think that if I got the world's attention, I don't think it matters of what I would say, a matter of like who would even listen. I'm
right.
sure there'd be a great majority of people that would listen, that would agree with me, but
Just
to
be,
me, I wouldn't be the first person to preach about peace on earth.
oh, of course, not
I
the
would
first,
need
not the
like,
last.
yeah. What about you? What would you do?
I don't.
Give me that microphone.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. You've
Attention
had
world.
enough.
Attention world. Beavers made for life.
you you'd go and talk, and they'd they'd have people like SpongeBob where they're like, "Hey, what's that guy talking about?" I don't know, but he's got a megaphone.
For quality carpets, go visit the Kathleen Template Warehouse.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I'd say anything meaningful,
I
nor
I
anything
mean,
that would help. Um,
you suck.
You'll suck. I hate you. What have you done? Yeah, my speech probably wouldn't go over too well. So,
Yeah.
oh well.
What can you do? What other questions you got here? I never really thought about that one.
I know, right? This is why it's good to have a ghostwriter.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, yeah. Ghost Rider
uh,
doesn't suck.
do you
Don't
actually
quit
do
your
you
day job.
remember?
What's that?
Do you remember? I just thought of this. Do you remember the time we were in English
Yeah.
and uh, you were wearing a Slipknot shirt?
Look, I remember you
And
bringing this up to me.
yeah. Oh, did I
Uh,
already? Okay, yeah.
yeah. What was it again?
Miss
Like,
Miss Burton started asking questions, and then you kind of half-assed answered them, and then which triggered me into a full-on rant.
I vaguely remember that now.
And then I proceeded to rant for about who knows how long. Majority of the class, I believe, and none of us really did anything that day as far as schoolwork. And I think at some point I was like, I should probably stop because looking at the time, I'm like, oh, I've wasted how much of the class time. And the thing is, like, she didn't stop me. She could have easily, said, "Okay, all right, that's enough. We're gonna move on to whatever it
She
was
was
that we're
such
doing
she
that
was
day."
such a nice teacher. She really was. She had a couple moments to her that were kind of like you know, I think in time of the month sort of business. Well, overall, I think that she was a pretty nice
Yeah.
teacher. Her and
Oh yeah.
Mr. Dunn.
Yep.
I remember. I don't know if you remember this, but Jared used to make like dirty jokes to her. And I remember one day he was like, she would say something, and he would say something as a response that was like really perverted, but made it sound like
Yeah.
it was perverted, but the way he worded it sounded
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
like he wasn't trying to sound like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember every time he said something, her back was turned, and you would get off your chair and you go up to me and you go, "What a sick fuck."
I don't really. The thing is, like, I mean, I joke with him about this all the time. As he
I'm getting his finger
was.
cut off.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
Because he stuck his hand in the lawnmower.
because he's an idiot.
So I don't really. I joke about with him about the fact that I don't really remember him ever being in class because every time he was in class, he would only stay for about 2 minutes and then get sent to the principal's office or whatever.
Really? Was that
He,
during
I
English
don't
class?
know,
I don't
like
remember that.
I think it was English, but he had this tendency to basically come into class, uh, piss Miss Burton off, and then she'd be like, "Jared, go down to the principal's office or whatever it was." And so he would just leave the class as soon as as fast as he came in. So I don't really remember a lot of the times that he was there because he would just get himself tossed out, and we still joke about that.
I
Um,
think wasn't wasn't Jared like coming into class like high or whatever? I thought there was some incident, and maybe not. I don't think all the time, but I think that there was like a couple incidents. Maybe you weren't around where he was in class and like I don't know. We came across like he was like stoned or something, you know.
uh,
But I don't remember really him
Possibly.
getting kicked out of class. I know Jake would just get kicked out of class, and in math class that was pretty funny. But that is a conversation on its own. Why is Jake a loser?
I do remember actually. Now that I think about it, there was two Jareds.
There was.
Yeah.
I remember Jared.
Um,
Who was the other Jared?
don't really remember his last name.
I have no memory of two Jareds. What did he look like?
He
Was he fat?
no. He he had glasses, kind of
What a dork.
curly hair. Um, I seem to remember him always wearing like a bluish hoodie or jacket. Um, he did. The last I saw of him is he supposedly took a swing at the principal or the vice principal, whoever whoever that was. I don't remember the
He
guy's name.
he was in our classes.
Some of them.
Uh, what you graduated when I was a freshman, so like what
He got. I think he got expelled after the whole swinging at the vice principal, which naturally would. Yeah, people do
I
it.
yeah, I
Don't
honestly can't.
I
I
don't
mean,
really
hmm,
don't really remember him
I
after that.
remember I remember some people that were either juniors or seniors when I just got in as a freshman, but I don't remember the name Jared. And when you say like curly hair, I'm thinking like, well, there was a kid named Dimitri who was, about my size, curly hair, and he got expelled. I remember him getting expelled. I thought he was cool until he was an asshole to me, which I never did a damn thing to him. So I one day went up to him and said, told him to go fuck yourself,
Doesn't
because
take much.
I didn't understand that. Like, why is this kid being a douchebag to me for no reason? But, two-faced people, I guess. Remember he had curly hair. He didn't have glasses. And then when you said glasses, I was thinking about Ryan Vaccaro, and I'm like, I think Ryan wore glasses, but I don't think he always wore glasses. But he
Mm,
definitely had curly hair.
yeah.
So, which I haven't seen him in God over 5 years now. Which I kind of blame myself for that because my time hanging out with him was okay, but he seemed like he was very I want to say scatterbrained, but seemed like he was going through a lot of stress. Um, he like
Yeah,
was making
probably.
yeah, he was making fat jokes about himself, and then I said one little joke, and then he got like pissed off about it, and that was the last I ever saw him. And I don't know if like that meant like okay, I'm done with this guy for good, or like I'm just gonna go and do my own thing, and I don't know. You got to figure that when I talked to Ryan, it was when he graduated high school in 2010 or 2009, 2009, 2010 around there,
Hmm.
and I think it was 2009. And then going all the way to 2015, 6 years out, just talking to him, it's like, think, I don't know.
I don't
Hmm.
know.
But I'd have to, I mean, is this Jared guy on Facebook at all? Is he friends with you? Do you, or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, again, like I said, like after the whole swinging at the vice principal, I think it actually ended up in the paper a couple days after that.
This
Um,
story sounds
from
really
from my
familiar.
from my recollection, it ended up in the paper or on the
I mean,
news or
I mean
something
that,
like that.
I mean that
I
story sounds really familiar.
Yeah, and after that, I never heard from him or ever really saw him again. So your guess is as good as mine. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's in the yearbook at all, because it just seems like he was there for the start of the year. He spent like I don't know. It seemed like he was only there for a few months. Then that whole incident happened. Then I never saw him again. So I don't know what happened to him. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, God only knows how long ago that was, and
Oh yeah, that was
you know, um,
what
yeah, because I
15, 12, I don't know, plus years ago. Who
yeah,
knows? I
yeah, I wish I could say that um, I
really
wish I
do.
could say like that, like, oh yeah, uh, know who that person is, or at least heard of them, but I honestly have no memory of that.
Yeah, I
I
just
like it sounds like a familiar story, but that could be that could be my brain saying like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that, or that could just be like, oh, I think I remember that, or I
yeah.
think I knew about that. I don't know.
Hmm.
But well,
Anyway,
yeah, too bad it wasn't Mr. Dunn. That would have been a good fight.
I think he was partially involved in trying to stop that or something.
Why does that not surprise me? When I was
He was in with a lot of he'd get
he
himself involved with a lot of those kind of incidences where
he did like when I was a junior, I remember going up to him after my lunch break when I was going into math class. I was a junior, and I remember going up to him being like, "How is it that every time a fight breaks out, you're there? Like it
yeah.
could be across the freaking building, and you're there." He's like, "I'm just in the right place at the right time," and while I'm telling him that, literally while I'm telling him this,
Oh no.
you hear bang, bang, bang outside,
Oh
and he
no.
gets up and sprints outside. Freaking, there's two girls fighting. He takes his one girl, freaking chucks her across the freaking hallway. She freaking flies in here, bangs her face on the locker, falls over.
Oh my
Oh my god, he's down there wrestling with the other girls. Oh man, and on a personal level, I was just like him. Like I would get pissed off when people would he would talk about people just fucking taking out their phones and just looking, and instead of trying to stop the fight, they'd be like,
yeah.
and he hated that, and
Of course.
I
That's
hated it too because I didn't agree with that sort of thing,
it's the
um,
start of it.
yeah, I didn't agree with people fighting and trying to kill each other before their fucking life begins. Really, if you think about it,
Yeah,
but hey, some people learn the hard way,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're Jake.
But
Then
he's
you
doing
never
pretty
learn.
well. He's doing pretty well for himself. They on Christmas, I guess the jail warden surprised them with surprised them with surprised them with a 6 pack of Heineken beer and a pack of Pampers.
God. Uh,
Good. He's gonna freaking get out of jail in the next couple of years and come across his video and be like, "Motherfucker." I'm,
Just gonna go right
I'm.
back.
Was that?
He's probably just gonna go right back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's,
It's a minimum of 2 years.
it's a minimum.
So yeah. So
Oh,
yeah. So.
all right.
So you got a list of questions in front of you or
So,
something, or
yeah, some questions, statements,
Cool.
Next one. What do we got here?
Oh boy.
I'm
Hey.
trying to think of. um, a late night drive or a walk to clear your head.
A late night drive or a walk to clear my head?
Yeah.
I've
Or just, I guess, whatever you do to, go off.
I've driven that nighttime. I never was able to drive by myself because I still don't have my license. But
Gotcha.
even if I did have my license, I still would pick a late night walk.
Yeah.
It's more, I mean, depending on the weather, but not really. I mean, because I've taken walks out in winter before. It's actually more peaceful and relaxing. Um, I feel like with driving, even if it is late at night, you don't know who's around.
Yeah.
There's more of that. It's very relaxing, but you don't know of like, oh, what if I hit somebody, or what if like something happens. With walking, it's completely different, at least for me, because like, okay, like when I'm walking, I'm out in the country, so
Yeah.
it makes it more peaceful. So like, or it's winter, summer, whatever. To me, it's really beautiful, and it's very relaxing. No one's around, so you kind of just got like to me, you got the world to yourself right now to kind of talk amongst yourself about things, or just enjoy what's going on. Sometimes like taking on my phone, recording myself walking,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd say that a walk is to me much more relaxing than a car drive.
Hmm.
I mean, I think a car drive is relaxing too, but not as relaxing as walking is. Walking's healthier for you, and I don't know, like I feel like
Unless you're Jimmy.
yeah, that's a topic on its own right there. Grace. The amount of freaking questions we have about him would be that wouldn't even equal to a quarter of his weight. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
Oh.
Jimmy will ask about Jake, thinking that I still talk to him, and I don't talk to Jimmy that often. I think I haven't talked to Jimmy in like a few years, but like when I used to talk to him, Jake would be brought up, and he'd be like, "So do you still talk to Diaper?" Oh man. What about you? Car ride or walking?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with walking as well. It's, I don't know. Before I moved away, um, I would also often take walks around the neighborhood,
Mhm.
and I did get a kind of a peaceful serenity vibe. Um, you know, so that was always good. I kind of had this thing where, uh, kind of near where Ryan lives. Um, some of the like the single story houses over there.
Mhm.
I would see them, and I kind of got the sense of like, you know, almost like the sense that I was kind of in the same mood as almost like when the house was almost built. Like I could look at, because I know there's one corner. Um, every time I look at one of the houses on the corner there, I always think of like the late '70s or something.
Mhm.
And I kind of think of what the neighborhood was like back then.
Mhm.
And some of the houses I kind of see as I still see them, almost as like time capsules. Um, I get the sense that this is what this house or this house looked in the late '70s or early '80s or whatever. So it's always kind of interesting to put myself in that mindset
Yeah.
and you know, see what that's like.
Hmm. Yeah, it's different. Different passive like kind of topics that go on in your head when you're walking. You know.
Oh yeah.
Um, to me, I kind of feel like, in a way, a lot of like what I'm thinking about when I'm walking, it can be very similar to like anytime I walk, like like I'm usually like checking out my surroundings, like the trees and the sky and stuff, and and that opens up the door for like more topics on its own. Um, but I always feel like that's like the start of it.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that if I take a walk at nighttime, I start thinking about like different dreams that I've had and how they kind of relate to one another. Like I'm kind of big on that. Like what is my brain telling me? I guess um like what exactly is this pattern I'm going through? Um, what is it about walking that um inspires me to write poetry and get me into I mean walking opens up the door for like for me I'm always thinking about like my dreams and like writing poetry and art and outer space and nature and like so many different like you look at I always thought that like you could look at the same tree every day for the rest of your life, and I guarantee you find something different or find something new about it that you didn't know or may have um, like helped you to think about something.
Yeah.
It's really crazy how that works. Um, you know,
Yeah, there's a kind of a sense of like meditation that I kind of go through when I take a walk, especially like late at night.
mhm.
Um, so that's
do
always good. Not
you,
sure
do you
how
like?
longer I'll be able to do that
Mhm.
for.
Do
Oh,
you like? Do you like walking late at night, or do you like walking early in the morning? And I mean, I know they kind of go hand in hand with each other, but I mean,
yeah,
like to me, like an early walk would be like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, probably late at night.
Okay.
I've had most of my walks are usually late at night. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know, yeah, something about that because I think it's like no one's out here at this hour.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's more peaceful and you got the whole place to yourself, kind of.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so yeah, I'd prefer walks at night. Yeah, and occasionally you'll run into, you know, you might run into someone that you know.
That.
Yeah,
Okay.
or or run into someone that you don't know.
Oh yeah. How great is that?
And you're like, this is awkward.
Uh,
But yeah, so yeah, that's it's definitely interesting. You know, I know obviously when COVID first started, the streets were pretty much deserted, and that was kind of interesting to drive around and you know it's the middle of the day and people should should be at 5 o'clock rush hour. The streets should be packed with cars and everything, and yet there's only like a handful of cars I'm seeing on the road. So that's always that was a little kind of a surreal thing, but
yeah.
uh,
Um, we talk about like walking, being so much like meditation because I've always felt that way. Is there anything that like goes on like in your head like that kind of kind of influence analogy. Like to me, like when you said that, I was thinking about like Native Americans, and that a lot of Native American like flute and drum music plays a
Mm.
huge part in people that meditate because they
Yeah,
like listening to that. So that's always, that was like what I like instantly thought in my head when you said that.
probably. I mean, again, it kind of, yeah, it does. The late night walks definitely trigger some sort of kind of meditation for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I think a lot of it was, it would go back to, my early childhood from, walking the streets on like Halloween night. Um, Mostly just because the way the street lights, would cast off from the trees and the shadows and everything, and that always reminded me of Halloween night. And I do remember a couple times when I was younger, and I didn't really know my way around the neighborhood as much. I remember there was one Halloween evening where, even though I was just a couple streets over, it felt like I was in another part of town. It was very alien to me to be over kind of away from away from my house, especially at night. And looking back on it now, obviously I realize I wasn't too far away from my house, but back then, with everything going on and not really knowing my way around, um, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in, a new city or a new town or whatever.
Mhm.
And I kind of miss that feeling, I kind of miss being like, lost, in a good way, and just kind of exploring something for the first time.
Mhm.
Um, and then obviously,
Yeah. Mhm.
as the years went on, my friends and I would obviously just walk around the neighborhood, and we learned our way around, and so now everything's not as much of a surprise to me as it used to be, but I do enjoy it.
Um, I can definitely relate to that. I haven't done it in a couple of years, but I used to take walks when I was living in Saratoga, where I wouldn't even plan on like when I walked out of the house, I told myself left or right,
Hmm.
and the first thing I thought of, I went that direction. I went left, went right, and there was times where like thank God my phone was fully charged. I would wander off, and I remember one day I wandered off, and I just kept walking and walking and walking and walking, and didn't really realize what time was and all this other stuff. And then I looked, and then I was like, okay, like I got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't know where I'm at. Like, like I do not recognize the place at all. So I take my phone out and I go on my GPS to like see, okay, which way is back home. I had wandered off so bad that I was literally 45 minutes away from home by walking. That's like, oh, this is
Whoops.
great. Well, but it was a
Walk of
good walk. I
shame
used
back
to take
home.
walks all the time, which I'd like to try to get back into that.
Yeah.
Um, I love walking. I really
Hmm.
do. It's good exercise, and
Of course.
uh, yeah, it's very, very, very healthy for you. I don't know why I haven't got back into walking. I think honestly, I think I lost myself the last few years or so. I think I've just been distracted from things,
Hmm.
and like electronics and whatnot, and just kind of lost touch with nature and with myself, and like I don't know. I kind of feel like I really let myself go these past few years, and like I try to keep like optimism and good heart and everything, good faith in life, but essentially I'm like, geez, like another year in the life I'm living, I'll end up like Ryan Vaccaro. I think it's all very brainwashing. Like the whole like the whole social media thing and electronics. Like, I'm doing a thing now where I'm telling myself that I'm okay with using my phone, but I want to be doing something creative every day. If I'm going to be using a computer or something, I actually just boxed up my video game systems because I wasn't doing anything with them. So I'm going to just store them in storage until I decide that I want to do something with them, But yeah, I went from a minimalist who was looking for like just to have gratitude in life and be very humble to someone that worked at Walmart and stores, and I think that really fucked my head up.
Yeah.
People like being around me, but I'm a type that gets very overwhelmed very easily. I have a difficult time coping with things, and I have a tendency to let stress get the best of me. And that's something I've been working on for a while now. That like I kind of look around, I'm like, okay, like what's something I can do right now that would help me to relieve some weight off my shoulders? Okay, well, I'll do this. Like I'll try to minimalize what I got.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried to kind of cut back a little bit on things. You know, especially moving into my apartment, I realized that I have a lot more stuff than than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of figuring out how I can kind of compact everything. And yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, I thought about getting rid of a lot of stuff, or at least trying to condense everything.
Yeah.
Kind of like spend this year slowly but surely going through everything I have, and like do I feel like it's not so much do I feel like I need this, do I feel like I want it?
Yeah.
Am I kind of like I look at a lot of stuff in my room and I'm like, like I think that throughout this year I might get rid of it or get rid of a lot of stuff, you know. Um, but yeah, so
Yeah, there's always the question, do you need it or do you want it?
yeah, and I think essentially I think that's like there's so many things that I would want versus need.
Yeah.
Um, Something actually helps out though that they say in minimalism is to take a picture of it.
Hmm. Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I feel like in some aspects that is actually a really good point. In other aspects, I don't agree with it. Like there's things in my room that I can look at and say, yeah, I think that if I took a picture of that, I would be much more happy. And there's other stuff that's like, no, I don't want to take a picture and get rid of it. I actually like this thing. I'll keep
Yeah.
it. And it's all about if you own quite a bit, how you kind of organize all that stuff. That's a huge thing that I have is like organization. So.
Yeah, I've kind of done kind of like the opposite, where there's a couple
Mhm.
things where I've taken a picture of, and then I kind of wish I had taken it, or taken it with me. Um, there was a little, I guess it was a Mardi Gras, little jester mask, like ornament that I
Mhm.
saw at an airport in, I think it was, yeah, it was in Florida. Um, and now I'm kind of like I have the picture of it and everything, and I'm kind of wishing I had bought it.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, I can't. I didn't really you know look at it in great detail, so it's not like I could search for the company or search for the product name. Because the time that I did, it I wasn't getting anywhere. You know, wasn't
Mhm.
finding it. I'll probably never find it. and all I have to go off of is this little picture.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's the whole, I know Google has that feature. If you upload a picture, they can search for relatable pictures.
Hmm.
I could probably try that and see if I can get anything out of that, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah. Well, I can't really think so much of like things that I had that I got rid of that afterwards I was like, oh man, why did I do that? I think at the time I like definitely like afterwards was like, oh man, like I wish I had that thing, you know. But the only
Yeah.
memory I really have is a guitar amp, but I don't remember like much anything else.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I've had several things that I've gotten rid of, but like I can't really remember. Like, I mean, there's some items of clothes that I had that I got rid of, where like afterwards I was like, oh man, like why did I get rid of that? You know.
Yeah.
But then I was kind of, I don't know, like I don't know, um I don't mind getting I don't know, like it's weird because I don't totally mind getting rid of things if I feel like um I mind getting rid of things if I feel like I can at least take a picture of them and feel like I have a
Yeah.
memory of them.
Yep.
But like I said, there's other stuff that like I'll think about getting rid of, and either I'll do it and regret it afterwards, or I, you know, um, won't do it or do it and not regret it. Um, I kind of like when I was living with my father. Um, he smoked cigarettes a lot, and my nose is not all that great. I think because of that,
Yeah.
and my everything like my clothes, like as soon as I moved over, I had to wash all of them because they had cigarette smell on them. And then
Oh
third
yeah.
hand smoke kind of sucks because then it's like I look around at everything in my room, I'm like, am I gonna have to like get rid of everything at home because of third hand smoke? Because that was like a huge thought process that I had that really bothered me. You
Yeah.
know, geez, like I'd hate to like go and get rid of all my belongings because of that. You know,
Yeah. Well,
because
clothes.
that
Yeah, clothes you can wash that smell out of. Um, Actual, you know, other physical things. I don't think that really. I mean, some of them I'm sure you can just wash. Um, I know when there's I forget if it's Amazon or eBay. They often say this product was in a non-smoking environment or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, and I know that especially with uh, like the plastic in action figures. I think one of the reasons that you see like old action figures with like the plastic casing where it's turned yellow, I think is probably one of the reasons, or it's from being, I think, within like a smoking environment. You know, I think
Mhm.
that turns yellow, or it turns the plastic yellow. But I think it also just naturally does that over time. But I don't think smoking helps. You know, that whole aging process.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see here.
You got me for 11 more minutes, then I gotta sign off. Okay.
All right, 1 more minute. All right.
Hey, ask me
I
anything.
think I think yeah, I know, right? I think you had one. Um, oh, your the mindset you get. when you're in the shower.
My mindset in the shower. Oh yes, I'm okay. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
I think it
guess
was.
just you know, I guess the safe, like, you get all your people say, I get all my best ideas when I'm in the shower.
Oh god, I've got a funny story for you about
It's like,
that. So we're going back, maybe 2019, not that long ago. Uh, Went down to Rachel's house. Well, actually, no, I think it was 2018. Actually, I don't know, somewhere between those 2 years. And I went down to her house, spend the night, and I don't remember if or no, you know what it was? I came down in the, I don't remember what the hell. I think I came down in the morning, or maybe I spent the night and stayed another night. I don't really remember, but anyways, she was gonna go to work and let me watch the house for her, and Rach and I would drink together, and it was probably like early afternoon, and I started drinking a little, and I still
5 o'clock
had
somewhere.
yeah, right. I started the recording somewhere, and I was like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna record a voice recording on my phone of me singing in the shower, just for the hell of it, so that later on in life, when I come across this thing, I'll be like, oh my god, what the hell is I on? So I fucking like almost 20 minutes of my phone just recording me. It was like you just heard me talking, making jokes, talking gibberish and stuff, being silly. Um, Going into the shower, singing in the shower, coming out and still talking and stuff. I think I like sang like a really slow version of House of the Rising Sun by the Animals,
All right.
but it was just like because they weren't the original ones to make that song. It was a traditional folk song.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
liked it,
It's a good
but
song.
it's just really funny that like I don't know, like our minds in the shower. I don't know, like so much stuff that like I think about, and like I never took the time to think of like does like my most creative ideas come from when I'm in the shower because
Yeah, yeah.
I mean I can agree with that in a certain extent, but it kind of sucks because it's like when my fucking body is wet, I don't have pen and paper to write anything down. I don't have like I can't just step out and dry my hands, take out my phone, and just type up what I'm thinking, But what I could do that no one ever thinks about or talks about is what if every time I took a shower, I set my phone and record and just started spewing out ideas I had. Then afterwards, go into that recording and be like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I thought about that at that time because God forbid I wasn't thinking about that when I was dry and dressed."
Yeah, there's something very interesting about, there's like I don't know, comfort of safety, or just, creativity that just seems to happen, when you're in the shower compared to when you're not. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh well, why, I think of all these good ideas, but then it's like, why can't I think of that outside the shower? Like, what is it about it that,
You gotta record yourself
I
talking is
know,
all I
right?
can say. I mean, you gotta understand that if you record yourself talking in the shower, who's gonna listen to it?
I know.
It's not like you're sharing it to the public.
I know, right? So yeah. All right.
uh, but hey, you know, um, this does motivate me that now when I do take a shower, I'm thinking about recording myself talk, and then
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, when am I ever gonna sit down after that and freaking write down everything I just said?
Yep.
Like, but
There's also something about, kind of like knowing you're being recorded. It does, as opposed to, just letting thoughts, flow naturally. I feel like if I know I'm being recorded, then it's gonna put on some level of like stage fright almost. So
yeah,
that's
I
hard.
can understand that. I can definitely understand that.
Whereas if
Um,
I know there's nothing recording me, then my thoughts just come more naturally. Then Because there seems to be that level of pressure that, okay, I have to say something amazing. I have to, give it my all over here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that. Even if you don't share it with somebody, there still is that like stage fright feel because you feel like you're on the spot. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Um,
So, very interesting. Interesting concept. All right. So, yeah, we've almost been going for 50 minutes now. So, and you said you need to get off now? Or don't listen to me. That's cool, too. To, mute? No, you didn't mute yourself.
okay.
Alright.
You still there?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just had to step out for a second. But yeah. What were you just saying?
Oh, no, I was saying that, we've been going for about 50 minutes. And I know you said you had to step out.
My ideal time frame of doing this was anywhere between a half hour and 45 minutes. Almost started.
Yeah.
So I think that we got a pretty good first episode going. I think what we should do is start working on episode topics and I think we should take some time off camera to talk about is this a good idea to do this every month or
yeah, figure that out.
Yeah, we'll talk more about things and
work it out.
So,
yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I think that'll do it for episode 1 here.
Yes.
I'll try to upload the other, I guess, pilot episode that we're calling it. I'll work on that in the meantime. I did composite the first, I guess, pilot episode, if you want to call it. But I'll work on the second one, and then we'll just keep going from there.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Alrighty. I had fun being here.
Like you had a choice.
Yeah. Can't wait for episode 2. Yeah. I think we should do. I think that you and I should write. I don't know, anywhere between 5 to 10 topics, and just send them to each other. Even if it's stuff we never talked about, I think we should still kind of, see how it goes.
Oh yeah.
So, alrighty, thank you for having me.
Yep.
Godspeed, and I'll let you close this off.
Okay. All right. See you later.
See you later.
Oh, there we go. All right. So we'll do that. I'll do this. There we go. All right. So that was a good first episode. Obviously, as time goes on, we'll progress and tweak things here and there and make things more smooth and shiny. Turn it into ugly Squidward into handsome Squidward. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us today. Tune in next time whenever we end up releasing the other episodes. And yeah, that'll be it for me and Dallas. So this has been Yackety Yack. Don't talk back, and we will see you guys another time. Have a good night, everyone.